Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to you wherever you may be in the world. I am Amy Montalvo, and this is the Good News Global. Now, this is our second broadcast, and I gotta tell you guys, there was a great response to the first one. Turns out you do want good news. You do want to be uplifted and inspired. So I have to say thank you to everyone who watched and shared. And you know, there is a lot of tough and heartbreaking and just enraging news out there, always. And to be honest with you, I kind of got stuck in that last week, but this is what pulls me out because it's a reminder that there is good out there. So let's get to the good news. Oh, but just a quick shout out to my researcher, Amy Montalvo, for collecting all of these great stories. There is nothing on this paper. First up, this one from Albuquerque, New Mexico. 19-year-old Jose Nunez was on a mission to buy socks for his grandfather. On the way, he stopped at an ATM to deposit some money and stumbled on some cash. It was a lot of cash. $135,000 to be exact, just sitting outside of the ATM.
When I saw all that money, I was in shock. I didn't believe I was looking at so much, never have. And in the back of my head, I was just thinking about my parents.
Jose says with the lessons his parents taught him swirling through his mind, well, he immediately called police and handed over the money. And his integrity has not gone unrewarded. City officials honored Jose in a ceremony outside Albuquerque's police academy. Albuquerque's ESPN radio station presented him with signed sports memorabilia and season tickets for University of New Mexico football. And at least 3 local businesses have given him $500 each. Jose is a community college student who's studying criminal justice. Heading up to New York, Brooklyn-based media arts educator and visual artist Sara Cornfeld is volunteering without ever walking out the door. She's painting designs for cards, writing messages of encouragement and comfort, and sending them to seniors isolated in nursing homes, to women in transitional shelters, and to social workers. She's one of many working on this initiative through organization Repair the World, which is providing great opportunities for virtual volunteering across the U.S. Anne has been getting friends together on Zoom to connect and create, and she plans to get everyone in on the card making soon. She says, "I'm just a lowly foot soldier in a greater chain of actions, just spreading color and cheer along." Well, we certainly need more soldiers like that. Now, a bond forged across the world by a single act of generosity is still going strong after almost 2 centuries. In 1847, members of the Choctaw Nation came together to make a donation to victims of the Great Potato Famine in Ireland. Even after suffering intensely during the Trail of Tears, a forced relocation to Oklahoma, the tribe sent $170 to the suffering Irish people. That's $5,350 today. That gift was never forgotten, and over the last few weeks, the bond has strengthened even more. A GoFundMe page set up for Navajo and Hopi communities hit hard by COVID-19 has seen a surge in donations all the way from Ireland. So many messages of kindness there from the Irish people, like this one from Liz Donegan. "For your kindness and generosity in our time of need, we won't forget you and yours. With love from Ireland." The GoFundMe goal was originally set for $1 million and has now raised more than $3.5 million. The money is being used to get food and clean water, as well as personal protective equipment and other essential items to those who need it most in these communities. Seems like that's a bond that is going to last many lifetimes. And speaking of Ireland, 2 young Irishmen have joined the ranks to create personal protective equipment for those fighting COVID-19 on the front lines. You don't need to be a manufacturing company or even an adult person to contribute to this effort. Brothers Connor and Dara recently decided to use their 3D printer for good. These guys are spending 15 hours a day printing face masks for the staff at a local hospital. So far, they have printed hundreds, and they've gotten some help along the way from Greg Keeley, who makes models and props for the film industry. Along with colleagues from the Model Makers Guild of Ireland, and armed with their 3D printers and some fantastic GoFundMe donations, they produce gloves, protective suits, and more than 1,000 face masks for frontline healthcare workers. The Irish just crushing it right now. And over in the Netherlands, people are quickly losing space in their living rooms, and couches are buried in backpacks for the best reason. Organization Because We Carry has put out the call and asked people to fill backpacks with toys and educational materials. Each backpack will end up in the hands of a refugee child living in the camps in Lesbos, Greece. And you better believe people were up for the challenge. On Monday, Ninka Dijkstra joined me from just outside Amsterdam to talk about this awesome initiative and organizing backpacks in her area. I just wanted to find out how you got involved with this initiative and how did you end up with so many backpacks in your living room?
Well, I just saw a little note on social media, I guess it was Facebook, and they were looking for people who wanted to collect all kinds of backpacks for the refugees camps in Moria in Greece. So the campaign was they wanted to collect 8,000 backpacks. So all the children would have their own backpack with like 4 or 5 toys inside. And there were like 281 collection points in the whole of Holland. And so I was actually expecting maybe 20, 25 backpacks, but there were like 126 in total. So the whole house was filled. Yeah, it was really nice.
And so, I mean, I think you said that they brought in way more than they were expecting, right?
Yes, they were hoping for 8,000 in total. And I guess the latest number is like 45,000, 46,000.
Sure.
So it's a massive amount. Yeah, it's great.
What made you personally want to get involved with this specific initiative?
Well, I have been following Because We Carry for a while now, and I think they do a great job. And it's really nice to do something, even though I think a lot of countries and a lot of families are a bit in crisis due to the current situation. But maybe then even it's more important to do something for somebody else, which makes you feel good at the end.
I think that's an incredible statement. I mean, that's what we're seeing is across the world, so many people are doing things for each other when and where they can. They're stepping up.
Yes.
And I just love what you said there at the end. I mean, I think that's fantastic. And that's what we need to be doing right now.
Yes, I fully agree. Yeah.
Awesome. Ninka, thank you so much for joining the Good News broadcast. You're my first interview,
Yes.
So I'm grateful to have you.
Thank you so much for asking me, and keep on going with this great initiative. I think we can use all the positive and good news from around the world. So thank you for that.
In the end, a staggering 47,000 backpacks were collected, and they're set to head to Greece over the next week. Because We Carry's mission statement is less talk, more action, and it looks like they're making good on that one. Now over to the African continent and to Malawi for a great example of how small businesses are continuing to support their staff during this difficult time. Malawi has only 56 confirmed cases of COVID-19, but the country is still bracing for the impact of the virus. Up in Manchewe village in the rural northern mountains, social enterprise Yewo is prepared to support their staff no matter what happens. Yewo is a jewelry design studio that's using skills training and responsible manufacturing to generate sustainable income and uplift individuals living in rural poverty. They've kept the studio open for the moment, ensuring their staff can still work with extra safety precautions in place, of course. And if lockdown becomes a reality in Malawi, they have a plan to provide their artisans with the necessary tools and materials to continue crafting at home with full salaries intact. Yewo also invests in community projects centered around education, and even though school is not in session, they're ensuring that project staff is still taking home a salary to help sustain their families. Founders Maddie McAllister and Kyle Snell say most of their staff had never had a reliable income before Yewo, and they're committed to keeping their staff employed and uplifted, especially now. Moving across the continent to Ghana, emerging young musician Kwame Ima has decided to use his talent to help during the current crisis. While under partial lockdown, Kwame Ima recorded the song Fear in the Air, collaborating with Ghanaian rapper Kweku Fenda, not only to capture the feeling in his country, but to explain how to take precautions to avoid getting sick.
City on a lockdown, everybody raise down, yeah. Stay home, stay home, stay home, let's avoid the spread. Every second, every minute, make sure your hands is washed. Yeah.
And now, a quick message for you from Kwame Ima, all the way from Ghana.
Our world seems like it is turning this way, but I'm here to tell you something. It is never late. Let's keep hope alive, and let's keep on believing it is going to be alright one day. This is how I make my music. I make music for people to smile and to give joy to people. I compose so you can be okay. I love you.
Ima is currently in lockdown at the Cape Coast Technical University, where, when he's not making music, he's studying digital marketing. In other audio news, Ear Hustle is a podcast that takes listeners behind bars into San Quentin Prison in California. Current and former inmates have set out to humanize prisoners by telling their stories, to show that they can change for the better while incarcerated. It also features stories of re-entry into society from those who've been released. And just last week, Ear Hustle was nominated for a Pulitzer Prize. The podcast is co-hosted by former San Quentin inmate Earlonne Woods, current inmate Rashawn New York Thomas, and visual artist and volunteer Nigel Poor. They say the nomination was both a shock and a joy. Give it a listen. And finally, look, we know this social isolation thing can be so tough, and over in Iceland, they get it. The Icelandic Forestry Service has advised the public, if you can't hug a human, hug a tree. Rangers from Hallormstadur National Forest have worked hard to cut paths through the snow, ensuring that people can get close to the trees and enjoy outdoor activities. And they say you can feel the energy coming from nature. And as Google has translated from Icelandic, be careful not to just hug for a moment. Rangers say give it a good 5 minutes. The Forestry Service has even filled their website with photos of people hugging trees all over Iceland. Wooden crushers of the world unite. Well, Google Translate told me that's what it said in Icelandic, but I'm pretty sure wooden crushers is probably tree huggers. I don't know, guys. I say we try it. Well, friends, that is all the time we have for this week because we're out of budget. But thank you to my producer and post-production team, Amy Montalvo, for putting in the hard work anyway. And hey, if you have good news, please send it my way. I'd love to see the good you're seeing, and I'd love to help get it out there to the world. Thank you to everyone out there who is continuing to spread the good. And remember, that could be you too. So until next time, we are sending love and good vibes from South Africa. In good we trust. And one more thing. If you're bouncing off the walls in lockdown, just remember, this puppy is right there with you.
Puppy dog, bounce it in the box like this. Don't stop, bounce with it. Puppy dog, bounce it in the box like this. Don't stop, bounce with it. You your own boss. You don't need no leash. All your shots up to date, you ain't got no fleece. Bounce it puppy like you're trying to get free. Bounce it puppy, little puppy, bounce it for me.